And this is, again, something that I work through with my therapist. Like, if something seems easy, I'm like, I don't want it. I need to suffer and work very hard for everything that I have. God forbid something just be as easy as putting it on a sheet pan. It can be that easy. Like, let it go. Let yourself be happy. Hello, I'm Alison Roman, and I am going to be making a crushed olive chicken today. And this is a chicken that I'm making on a sheet pan. I have historically had a real bad attitude about like sheet pan chicken or sheet pan anything because it sounds like gimmicky or like, oh, for like when you hate cooking, like just throw it on a sheet pan. And I understand why people want to just throw chicken on a sheet pan and put it in the oven, because sometimes like you do not want to get a skillet out. You don't want to worry about searing and checking and peeking and like all that stuff, and it can stick and it can be annoying. So I decided that I would cook my chicken on a sheet pan in the oven, just like a skillet, meaning really hot, really fast. And then I would still use those bits on the sheet pan, just like I would the skillet, and still make a sauce. And I was like, oh, it's a me problem. It's not the sheet pan, it's me. Okay, we're gonna make this chicken. This is really more about the method of searing the chicken really hot and fast on your sheet pan, and then using some sort of vegetable or liquid to deglaze that sheet pan to make a sauce. I'm a big fan of using the whole chicken, but if you happen to have just a package of thighs or a package of legs and thighs, those will all work. This is like an unboxing video, but for chicken. It's a horrifying unboxing video.
Where did you get this chicken?
I got this chicken at Paisanos, obviously. How much do you think it was? Let's play a game. Keeping in mind they do not charge for cutting it for you.
What? No.
Okay, David, how much do you think it cost?
Like $35.
$35? Oh my god. Okay, Lucille Bluth. Like, what?
Wait, how much was it?
Y'all, it cost $14.
Really?
$35?
I like
Wow, we are only eating at David's from now on because apparently he eats chickens
Damn, I need
made from gold. Everything around the perimeter of the sheet pan will cook faster and will get more color than anything on the inside. So that's why I'm putting the breasts on the outside, because they're a bit larger, obviously, and there's more skin to brown. Skin side up, always. We're gonna rotate it as needed. We're gonna flip as needed. We're gonna, like, you know, make sure that all the chicken is getting nicely browned. I'm tempted to cut these breasts in half, actually.
Because you think they're too big?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut these breasts in half. And when cutting through chicken bone, you're cutting through that cartilage, so it's not that hard. So just like any chicken, this chicken starts with seasoning. You don't need a ton of other seasonings on this. If you wanted to add a spice to it, you could, but it's not necessary. The more stuff we put on this chicken with it as it roasts, it creates more moisture, and it just becomes a lot harder to get this chicken as crispy as humanly possible, which is, of course, what we're after. That's like the reason for making chicken. And then before it goes in, I will be drizzling it with olive oil. This is just extra fat on top, which is gonna help it brown almost immediately once it gets into that very hot oven. Yes, chicken is blanketed in its own fat. It BYO'd. It brought its own fat. Chicken's like, I showed up, I have my own fat, I wore my own fat. I'm giving it a little bit more. What else? What else is there to say about this chicken before it goes in? Anything to say? Do you have any last words? I'm gonna put this cut up chicken in a 450-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. It's not in there for that long, but please know that each oven is different. And if after 12 to 15 minutes your chicken is not brown, keep it in. We're gonna check and I'll tell you what to look for, and maybe your chicken takes a little bit longer. That's totally okay. What the point is that we're trying to get it as brown as possible. So meanwhile, we're gonna pit our olives. These are Castelvetrano olives. They came in olive oil, which feels very luxe. I think there is a taste difference between pitted and unpitted Castelvetrano olives when they're sold in the store, whether they come in oil or brine or whatever. If possible, always get the ones with the pits. They're more pure state, and they taste different to me. Do your own taste test, but I think that they taste different. And to get the pit out, you just kind of crush them gently with your knife and then fish the pit out. This is a good task to give to somebody if they're asking if they can help you in the kitchen. Say there's just like a really eager friend or family member that's just gotta help. This could be a child. And if you're just kind of like unsure about their skill level, maybe because they're 4 years old or just because they don't know how to cook well, taking an olive away from the pit is a thing that anyone can do.
It also seems like kind of satisfying for the person who's doing it.
It is. It's like a meaningful task.
Yeah, they won't feel like they got a bad task.
No, they'll be like, wow, this task had to be done. You can see it's been in for about 10 minutes. No color yet. I'm gonna rotate it because my oven is crooked.
It smells amazing.
It does smell amazing, and it's just chicken and salt and pepper. And I'm gonna use 2 cloves of garlic because I want my chicken to be pretty garlicky. And I'm gonna finally grate them because I don't wanna bite into any pieces of raw garlic. And this garlic is not going to be cooked, but it is going to be gently warmed by the heat of the sheet pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of white distilled vinegar to this. You could use white wine vinegar, or you could use lemon juice. I like the acidity of white distilled vinegar because it also doesn't have any flavor. And I know olives are salty, but we're gonna add a little bit more salt. And then I'm also gonna add some water because we need more liquid to fully deglaze the sheet pan. And if I used all vinegar, that would be way too acidic. So like 2 tablespoons vinegar, 3 tablespoons water. A lot of the sauce will also be comprised of the fat from the chicken. This is meant to just like create a sauce. That tastes really good already, but it's very garlicky and very tangy. And I'm also gonna finish with a ton of parsley. You could add a thinly sliced shallot or half of a red onion or yellow onion. Leeks would be really nice, ramps. Ever hear of those? And I'm gonna leave this really coarse. Again, my oven is crooked, so I just rotated it one last time, but I'm probably gonna let it go for like another 5 to 7 minutes and we'll be there. So that's like 25-ish minutes total. I don't have anything to do right now. Hold for chicken roasting, please. I'm washing some I'm washing cilantro. I don't mind the thick stems of parsley or cilantro, but I am gonna pick some of like, this cilantro is very, very stemmy. So I'm just picking out like the thickest parts. And you can use all parsley, you can use all cilantro. I like a mix, which I often have both of, but cutting it to about the same coarseness. You could use dill here if you wanted. I'm not gonna because I feel like I'm pushing it on the dill. Ooh. This oven is very hot. See how much fat has accumulated or rendered rather? And see all these like really nice golden brown bits? We're gonna eat those. You put your chicken on the sheet pan, you roast the chicken, and then you put your chicken on a plate. And what you're left with is like all of these really crusty bits here. So I'm gonna add this bowl of the olives, the vinegar, the water, the garlic. You could use a wooden spoon, but this is really the best tool for the job. You're just scraping it up.
Scraping it up.
The sticky bits that you're scraping up, like what they really do for
Those brown sticky bits that you're putting back into your sauce are like the savory, salty, chickeny. It's like chicken concentrate, essentially. And then you want to put an absolute massive amount of herbs on top. And you're not getting rid of that brown, like flavor, deep crunchiness of the chicken by letting it sit in that sauce. Chicken, when it comes out of the oven, will only stay crispy for so long unless you're like deep frying it. So that's not really my priority, but the color of the chicken is indicating like how much flavor is developed. And again, if you don't like olives, this is a really good way to still use things like canned chickpeas, canned beans. Basically, the idea is that you're taking something acidic, something garlicky or oniony, and you're deglazing that sheet pan with the chicken bits while it's still warm to kind of like heat the garlic or heat the onions through slightly to kind of take the edge off. And that becomes your sauce. And it's like a definitely savory, sort of bracingly salty in a good way sauce for your chicken. You definitely want each person to get a good amount of this sauce on their plate. That's so good. It's very garlicky, but not in an oppressive way. Tastes like you like made a sauce for it. And you did, but like you basically just poured some stuff on a sheet pan. But it didn't take any like skill really or that much effort. But it tastes like, I don't know, like you spent a lot of time on this dish.
You were tired. You made it.
I was exhausted. I sleep horribly, and of course, I sleep my most horrible the morning before I have to be up early for a shoot or to like be on camera or anything. So last night, of course, 2 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, thinking of every mistake I've ever made. Even if you are too tired to cook, you can still do this. And I don't know, it makes you, it's like, I don't know. It's pulling a lot of weight, I feel like. It's so good. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I'm out of words.
Brian,
Can you hear the chicken?
Yeah.
Brian, can you hear the chicken?
I sure can.
You can hear the chicken already. Can you hear the chicken?